Hi guys, it's Kaychak. I'm building to 1 billion gold episode 4, and this week, as promised, we're invading Russia. But before we get to that, let's have a look at this week's numbers. So TSM Ledger is saying that I've made 3.6 million gold profit in the last 7 days. That's a fairly low weekly number for me, but we'll get to why it is so low in a bit. If we look at top sales for the week, we still see that I'm still selling off the last of my legendary stock. I sold 20 abyssal fragments for 194,000 gold after auction house cut. If you watched last week, you know that these would have cost me around 18k to buy, so that's around 175k profit, or I made almost 10 times what I paid in profit. Now I just need to sell a few more thousand of them. The BFA mounts we talked about last week as well, those are all profitable flips as well. I did not farm any of them whatsoever. The Mecha Mark II mount, this was sold on a server where I did my 400k an hour farm video. I server transferred a character to a hand-picked server. I can farm 3 of these mounts every 2 hours and they're over 250k profit each on this server. If you want a genuine 400k an hour farm, don't copy this farm, but watch the video and follow the method for finding one. For those of you who don't know, you are limited to transferring 1 million gold on a level 60 character, server transfer. But you can move up to 10 million gold if you do a guild transfer. Now, since around 9.2 release, guild transfers have not been available in game, so transferring gold between servers has been very difficult. This was until last week when we finally got them back again. So let's talk about the Russian servers. For context, for players in the US realms, the economy of the Russian servers is very similar to that of the Latin American servers in the US region. You see a huge amount of supply on pretty much everything on the auction house, and all the prices are well below even the highest population non-Russian servers. Now I imagine a lot of gold makers who could take advantage of these cheap prices don't bother, because playing on Russian servers is frankly a pain in the arse, even if it is just as a gold maker. You can play on any server in the EU or US in English, whatever the language of the server except Russian server, you have to play in Russian. Just to stress here, I'm English, I can barely speak my own language, so you can imagine how much fun it is trying to find things on the auction house when it may as well be in hieroglyph as much as I can follow it. Even TSM hates the Russian servers, it acts like it's having a stroke whenever you try and do anything. Now, I've always had gold on the Russian realms, but I burnt through this mostly from transferring Progossentia to Draenor for legendaries when they were less than half the price of any other server. So I invaded Russia. I moved 5 full guild banks, that's 50 million gold, to the 5 biggest Russian servers. What is the plan with this gold then? Let's have a look at my weekly expenses and you'll see the sort of things I'm going to be doing with the gold. Now you can see why my profit was so low this week, as I have 3 million gold worth of purchases, around 90% of which is gold I moved to the Russian realm. Flawless Amethyst Bauble Worms, this is the 10,000 pet charm pet. It had gotten stupidly cheap on the Russian realms. You can see here I bought 14 of these at an average price of less than 75,000 gold. This is just a crazy price. These, I have all rerouted them to non-Russian realm auction houses now, mostly on servers where I'm the only person listing it on the auction house, and most of these listings are between 300 to 400k. It won't take many sales of that to cover that investment. The main part of this week's investments is the Zereth Mortis pets that you build with Genesis motes and other parts you find in the zone. These are new, so there are hardly any in circulation, so it was easy to list these on servers with absolutely no competition. I've already had some sales, so you can see the sort of return I'm expecting from this investment. The Archetype of Vigilance, you can see here I bought 5 of these for a total of 96,000 gold, and I've already sold 1 of them for 87,000 gold. Therefore I've almost already covered the investment cost of this pet. If I sold them all at that price, that would be around 342k profit on a 95k investment. The Archetype of Renewal pet, I also bought 5 of these for a total of 58,000 gold, and I have a single sale at 89,000 gold. The cost of this pet has already been covered, and if I carried on selling at this price, I would make approximately 8 times my investment when they all sold. So this gives you some sort of outline of why I invaded the Russian servers and what I plan to do with that gold. Now it did cost me around 4 million gold in WoW tokens to do all these server transfers, but this is less than 10% of the amount of gold I transferred, and as you can see, at an absolute minimum I want to double my gold from this over the long term, so taking an approximate less than 10% tax is pretty insignificant. Now, I only spent around 3 million of that 50 million gold I transferred, so it likely will be seeing much more in purchases in the coming weeks, which is going to make my profit numbers look bad, but in the long term this should be a solid investment. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week.